Hi and welcome back to the Toffee Blues, your source for all things Everton. And today we are back with another EFC Women's Report. And I'm delighted to be joined by John Howard, the Everton Women's correspondent from Royal Blue Mersey. John, how are you?
Very well, thank you. Better after Sunday.
Definitely, I think everybody is.
Yeah.
Yeah, really lifted our spirits for this season and our hopes as well. We will come to the derby in a second, but we're going to have to start up. We can't go too happy, we can't go too optimistic to start off with. We will have to talk about Leicester and Man City just before we get onto the derby and our first win of the season. So we played Leicester City away at the King Power. We did lose 1-0. It was I thought personally it was a really unfortunate game. For Everton, we didn't really deserve to lose that game. We had a safe penalty by Van Hervermaet. By the way, I can't pronounce names still, so we're still trying. So just bear with me, everyone.
That is a bit of a tongue twister, that one, isn't it?
It is. It is. I will get it right one day, I
Yeah.
promise. And we had two goals that were ruled out for offside from Emma Bissell. John, what did you think of that game and the performance overall?
Well, to be honest with you, Keira, it was one of them games, the old adage in football, wasn't it? They literally did everything but score, but they did score. I think the first one, I think the ref gets it right. Oh, sorry, the assistant gets it right. I think the second one, no. I mean, I know Liverpool probably looking at Missy Bocairns' effort, but I didn't think there was any offside. I thought Bissell in particular had a fantastic game. Van Havermaet was unfortunate with a penalty. And I think in sometimes, you've seen it over the years. Sometimes you just get a nemesis in the shape of a class keeper, which, let's be honest, Leicester City in Leipzig has. I remember last season where I think we drew 0-0 up there. And Hannah Bennison has a chance, and she pulls out this absolutely incredible save, and she pretty much did it again. She is as vital a player as any of the new recruits. And I think it's certainly the performance. I've seen us deliver much poorer performances than that and win comfortably. So while it's disappointing and you're thinking, oh, that's defeat number 2 and went on to be defeat number 3, I didn't see anything to suggest that we're going to be also rans in this division. I just looked and thought, it's just not our day there today. It's not as if we've fallen short. It's not our day. I mean, I thought Martina, speedy recovery for her. Piamenta, I thought, she was another one who absolutely tormented the Leicester City backline. I think if Leicester City had got through with a draw, they'd have said, woof, we rode all up there. They got through with all 3 points. The Angels were smiling on them, weren't they?
Yeah, they really were. We were just really unfortunate overall, I thought, for that day. I mean, as you said, we drew last season with them 0-0. I feel Leicester City's always a funny fixture when we play it. It's never like, like a 5-0 win for
No.
us or a 5-0 battering for us. It's always either a 1-0, 2-0 or a
Yeah.
draw.
Yeah. They're
Never
very,
see.
very tight encounters, aren't they?
Yeah, they really are, especially with our former manager, Willie Kirk, in charge as well.
Yeah, well, exactly. You can tell he's fired them up a little bit for it. And
Yeah.
and I think if you put, not being biased, I think if you put girl for girl, I would say our side is probably a little bit superior. Although I have to say, I've been impressed with a few sides. I think Leicester City have recruited really well, and I look at where our ambitions are of top 6 as a minimum. Sorensen, Brian is determined to crack that top 4. I think Leicester City, I think had a bit of a bad result against Spurs, but I think Leicester City now must be looking out and about just surviving relegation. I think Leicester City are looking to make themselves permanent fixtures in the WSL, and I think with Kirk as manager and one or two of the signings, I think they've got every chance of doing it.
Yeah, I really do think they have. They've got a chance now to make a name for themselves in the
Mm.
WSL massively, especially as you said with the new recruitment, because that's just
Mm.
been class for them this season.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Then we went and faced Man City at home at Walton Hall
Yeah.
Park in the Continental Cup in Group B. We unfortunately lost that game 2-1, which I think makes that sound like a tight game, but
Mm.
Man City did dominate for most of the
Yeah.
game. And we were very lucky to get that goal at the end from Tony Duggan, her first goal
Mm.
back since maternity leave. So that was great to see. I mean, Walton
Yeah.
Hall Park just blew up when she scored. It was
Yes.
mental. And what
Yes.
did you think of that game as well?
I think the first goal this season, Keane, is going to be very important. I think that's very highlighted by the game we're about to come on to. Personally, for the first 20 minutes, I thought it was a bit of an even encounter. But the problem is with Man City, I was looking, and I always look at Everton women's fans on Facebook and look at the stats and then check them. And we've yet to win or even get a point in 13 WSL encounters against Man City. They are the ultimate bogey side, as the top four seem to be at the moment anyway. But I think once that first goal goes in, and Jess Park, who I really wish she was still wearing the royal blue of Everton because she was a particular favourite of mine last season. You've got Inshaw, and I thought she had an absolutely wonderful game. I mean, she led the line, and I think once that was 1-0, I think it was damage limitation then. I think once the first goal's going to go in this season, I think you'll find a lot of teams holding on and winning, and I think that was no exception. I think once City had it, let's be honest, they could have gone in winning by more. They could have stretched the lead. I think our back line did well. I think Luck smiled on us, and then Tony does what she does best. She's not lost a step. But as you say, I think 2-1, when we're writing our match reports, we write them as tight games. If we've been a little bit more objective writing for the BBC, we'd probably say Man City were probably unfortunate, maybe a bit wasteful not to go with more. But again, I think that, I hope they use the Continental Cup as a learning curve. I hope we go through. But unfortunately, that top four, much like Liverpool playing us at Anfield, I think the top four at the moment is a little bit of a psychological block that we don't seem to be looking at cracking, but we're going to have to if we're going to get results of the weekend, aren't we?
Yeah, definitely. Right, we're going on to the big one now. 1-0 win at Anfield in the derby. I'm so happy. Thank God.
Yes.
I mean, I was one of the most nervous people, I think, in that away end when we went in. I had no optimism. I'm so sorry to say it. But after the start of the season, I was so worried that we weren't going to get anything out of this game. But our third consecutive win at Anfield in the WSL, third clean sheet, first 3 points of the season. Yeah. I mean, can it get any better than that?
Well, no, we can't really, can it? I mean, last season was a 3-0 demolition thing. I think this was more of a war of attrition, Keira. I think it was players coming together, and Liverpool will look to Cairns' goal. But a lot of people we lost Lucy Hope. Yeah. And I thought I also like to pay a bit special mention to Claire Wheeler. Felt so sorry for her over the World Cup, not 1 minute, but what a performance for her to come in and do. I mean, she was not in a familiar role. I thought she could, but I think the plan, it wasn't about the planets line. I think the team just really achieved their potential there. I thought Van Havermaet was absolutely wonderful.
She was my player in the match.
Exactly. I think almost like with the loss of Gabby George, it's hard to believe Gabby's a 26-year-old veteran, but we've brought in someone there. He's invested in youth, but we brought in a player there who's so clever, almost like maybe a little bit like Garner for the men's team. She just sits, she knows how to command us, but I think she's a bit more box to box than he is. Garley, I thought, had a cracking game. And in Benison, for 20, she celebrated her birthday, I think, the day after the derby in 21. Years, but I think really that midfield swallowed that game up. I think once the goal went in, couldn't have asked for anyone better than Megan. She just absolutely heart on her sleeve, hasn't she? But I really think we you know what, it wasn't a case of what we were goal up and our backs to the wall. We were more than good for that win. We actually showed that we are a side that on a day is capable of giving anyone a match, and probably on a day capable of beating anyone.
Yeah, definitely. Really, really strong performance from the Blues. I just want to mention as well the officiating in that game. Really, really annoyed me. Lucy Hope obviously went down injured, didn't she, in the first half, and we got 4 added minutes at half time. Nobody went down injured in the second half, but for some reason, 6 minutes appeared at the end, which then turned into 8 minutes. I think the refs and the lineswomen were doing everything in their power to let Liverpool maybe get another shot, get another chance. I mean, it is Liverpool, so we can't say too much. But, I mean, my one thing is Heather Payne getting hit in the face with the ball in the second half. The rule is the game gets stopped because it's a head injury.
A head injury, isn't it? Yeah.
I'm not sure specifically which Liverpool player it was, but went down holding her face in the centre circle, and the game was stopped immediately. Courtney Brosnan then gets booked because she's getting emotional about it.
Yeah. which is understandable. It's a teammate, you know. And
Yeah,
I agree with you, Keira. I mean, I've watched football. I'm 40 in a couple of weeks. I watched football since I've been about 5, and officiating's probably been the one consistent thing that's really wound me up, whether I was
yeah,
playing with it or watching it. And I think, Keira, what you highlight personally, yeah, as you know, what we'll get all your bits of blues, but I think it's consistency, as you say. You know, it's almost like. Football, whether it be men's football, women's football, it's almost like being scripted for a game of FIFA. You know, at
yeah,
the end of the day, if there's 4 minutes to add 4 minutes. Don't suddenly create an extra 4 to 6 minutes for a bit of drama. Do it properly. It's a game of football. There's enough drama, enough passion in there. But I think, you know, we all accept things go against you. VAR's been brought in, not doing a wonderful job, but it's been brought in most quarters of football. But I think it's just a lack of consistency, isn't it? You know, if someone gets hit in the face, doesn't matter what colour they wear, you stop the game. And the day a referee is consistent, then he or she will certainly, I think, get a lot more, I don't know, of an easy ride from fans. And as you say, the lack of consistency that we seem to be getting. And you know what? As you say, you're standing in the stands really pleased and all that, but the officiating actually has almost gone under the radar a little bit. When really, you know what, it deserves calling out. You know, because if a manager's not winning games, they're called out. If a player's not doing well, they're called out. You know, our jobs, if we're not doing well, we'll be called out. But you know, the officiating at the moment just seems to be going on under the radar, unless
yeah.
a big club, big team demands a replay. You know, when it should be consistent across the board. You know, it should be about the best team on the day, shouldn't it?
Yeah, definitely. It was a really, really tough game, I thought, in the first 15 minutes, because Liverpool
Yeah.
absolutely dominated those first 15 minutes. Obviously, Missy Boken scored that goal that was ruled out for offside,
Mm.
thank God. But yeah, it was. That first 15 minutes was really, really challenging to watch. Just wanted to get your thoughts on how we started in the game and what you thought about it.
Well, I think, to be honest with you, I kind of expected. I was like you know, I've watched derbies for years and years. I never go with any confidence of anything. The only thing I'm going to come out with, probably I've shortened my life, and this one was no different. I think I expected Liverpool to come at us. I think, you know, they'd had a loss to Leicester in the Conti Cup, and they were a bit, but they've had two fantastic wins. Let's take nothing away from them. I know Villa are struggling a little bit, but they've gone and beaten Arsenal. Arsenal, they've spent well. I thought it was going to be a home crowd, you know, great crowd, 23,000 and something. Uh, I fancied Liverpool to come at us and to have a
Yeah,
go at us. But you know what? This is where I suppose your experience comes in. This is where the likes, I mean, Megan Finnegan has grabbed, and rightfully so, all the headlines. But actually, what she was doing at the back, you know, I mean, Natalie Bjorn, who I thought had such a good World Cup, so assured. And then, I mean, not only just does she take a corner with a wonderful left foot, but I think Katrine Veggia is best. Sorry about the pronunciation, but I think her at the back, she's wonderful. She's
yeah,
so versatile. You know, as you've picked up on this, her ability to read the game, no matter where she is wonderful. Her levels of fitness, you know, and her pinpoint accuracy. So I think it was those kind of players. Then you look at Van Havermaet, who is actually becoming a real, in the early stage, a real good protector of that back line. I think that's when them players kicked in to allow, when we started to come in the game, likes of Nicolai Sorensen, who's a particular favourite of mine. I thought she revelled in the attacking role. But I think that's where the necessary experience that Van Havermaet's only added to, I think that's where they earned the money. And I think, you know, we got that little bit of luck, and I think they had one off the bar, which, by the way, was an immense save from Brosnan. That was a brilliant
yeah,
save. So I think once we got through that, I think naturally, when you're on top, like we were on top against Leicester, like we were on top against Brighton after they got the goals. You know, Brighton scored 2 goals when they were on top. When Liverpool were on top, they didn't score. When we were on top against Leicester, we didn't score. And I think once you don't score, if your other team comes into it and grows into the game, there's a natural deflation. And suddenly you can feel that travelling support going, oh, come on, come on, come on. And I think that's after our more experienced back players sorted it out, weathered the storm. After that, it showed it was just all part of a complete team performance, Brian called it. And it was, wasn't it?
yeah. It really, really was. I thought it was one of the best team performances I think I've seen since Anfield last season. So
Probably, yeah.
yeah. I went in there thinking, please don't ruin my memories of being at Anfield in the away section at the derby. Please don't. Because my last one was obviously the 3-0 win. So I'm so, so
Yeah.
happy that we got the win and got the 3 points, our first 3 points of the season as well, which is always a
Yes.
bonus. And then we're hoping to build on that. Hoping, I'm saying hoping. With you playing Man United at home at 1 o'clock kickoff on Sunday, the 22nd of October. Now, we've had played Man City obviously last season and did suffer a battering at home in the league. I'm hoping we don't have that again this season. I hope we have a similar performance to the away performance that we had at Leeds Sports Village where we drew 0-0. I thought that was one of the best performances last season. One of very close to Anfield that we had last season. We were so solid at the back, attacking as well, and Courtney Brosnan just had an immense game there as well.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you think about United coming to Alton Old Park, and how do you think we're going to get on?
Well, do you know, I'm glad you touched on it because, Anfield clearly and deservedly gets all the plaudits for last season. But I do look to the Man United away game. And yeah, you're reading it, you're watching it, and you're looking at it afterwards, you're analysing it. And it was Man United coming out. But you're so right, Keira. It was good organisation. Yes, we relied on a bit of goalkeeping. That's what goalkeepers are for. But I don't know what it is. Walton Park's such a bubbling, real cracking little place. I just think at the moment we seem to be better served on the road.
Yeah.
And I don't know why. I'd be more confident about us being on the road against United because I think almost like the pressure goes off. I don't know whether Brian's got us set up to be maybe in a way counter-attacking side. I know he's trying to make us a ball playing side and he's doing a great job in that. But the way I look at it is, and I've read what you write, you've read what I wrote. I keep saying it's going to end soon. We have to pull a victory off a top 4 team soon, and maybe early on we can catch them a bit cold. Horrible news about Gabby. While I don't want to see her wearing a Man United, get well soon, Gabby. I really hope you do. But I think we're going to have to be on our game a little bit. I think for me, we're going to need an attacking outlet. So I think Katja Snodges has to come back in.
Yeah.
I think Nicola did a brilliant job. I think Emma, who's a midfielder, and can do a great job as well. I think they led the line admirably, but I think we're going to need an outlet that way. I think it's going to have to be. I think the midfield trio are going to have to perform as well, if not better.
Yeah.
But at some point, we are going to catch one of these sides. We are. It is going to click in, and you and I, we watch the ladies, the women intensely. We watch them develop. We watch them evolve. It's getting better. It's not just us having our blue tinted spectacles on. This is an improvement. This is Brian has a vision, and he's bringing in players that can sort of embody his vision. So I think with United, I would say I'd rather it be away, but I'm certainly never going to rule us out.
Yeah, definitely. I wouldn't rule us out either because I think if we build on that momentum from Anfield, we will definitely get something out of the game. And it being at home, I'm hoping. I know you said about the away games. It does seem that way that when we're not at home, it does seem that we do perform better. But I'm hoping with the support from the fans, it might just let us edge it and get something out of the game. Really, really hoping so. But tickets are currently on sale now for Man United, so you can please go and get your tickets and come and support the girls. Definitely. It would be massive. If you haven't been to Alton Old Park before, please come down. You will absolutely love it. It's just about 15 minutes walk from Goodison, and it's right in the heart of Walton, and I absolutely love it there. So if I love it, then everyone else is going to love it. That's the way I see it. So
Exactly. I remember when it was just a playing field, Keira. And now it is, it is a stadium where, obviously everyone wants to go to Goodison, but it's a stadium where they have of Everton women, it's a lovely family atmosphere. But you know what? It's a typical Everton, very vociferous, passionate support. And you do read a lot of these posts, but I read one from Van Havermar today about how the fans are really, really good. That's an experienced international footballer. And I've no reason to doubt that she probably looked and thought, "Whoa, these fans are good." And let's prove it. But let's make sure their words are borne out. So yeah, definitely get down to Walton Park, and you know what, you're going to see a good game because you're going to see two good sides. United will be coming with their own, confident that they've not had a brilliant start. It's very, very early on, but I think. Yeah, you can't rule us out. If Brian is building a team, and it's nice to see actually there's that strength in depth as well. He has that ability now, the room to manoeuvre. Obviously, Martin is a massive blow, but as one door closes, and as I said before, Katja Snodges seems to be back. I mean, she looks like she hasn't missed an absolute step. She was lucky enough to get a goal herself. So
Yeah.
there's the strength there. And I think is we've got players that can play different roles, and that will be so important when we play different sides. Well, we've got a plan B. There's something in there that we can change if necessary.
Yeah, definitely. Really, really looking forward to that Man United game now. So yeah, as I said, at home, 1 o'clock kickoff, Sunday the 22nd of October. Please come and get your tickets and please come and support the girls. But thank you so, so much for watching this video. Make sure to drop a comment, like and subscribe, and keep an eye out for the next EFC Women's Report because I'm sure we'll be back with one soon. See you later.